Hi, everyone. I'm Lydia with Eradicating Self-Doubt and Anxiety, and I really want to focus on self-doubt and a lack of self-trust. I'm sort of shifting now into this whole notion of lack of self-trust, which I think is so fascinating. Everything all ties together: a lack of confidence, a lack of a belief in ourselves, a lack of self-trust, lack of confidence. Did I already say that? Anxiety, feeling anxious. It's all sort of a ball. I think anxiety is a really big topic, and we tend to sort of look at it as a whole, but actually you can tease it out, and there's so many different parts and components to this. And so I'm now taking on self-trust as a thing because it resonates so deeply with me. So welcome. My name is Lydia. I am a rapid transformational therapy practitioner, and I would love to help you. I started off on my journey. I discovered Marissa Peer in the same way that you have landed on this video by scrolling through YouTube. And I was scrolling through YouTube and looking for different videos that might inspire me, because I knew I really was hoping for, you really sort of just want a light bulb that will help you sort of change your trajectory. I knew I needed to do something a little bit different. And I discovered Marissa Peer. Marissa Peer has been in her field for over 30 years. She's helped so many people with so many different issues. And she is a renowned speaker, a writer, and a hypnotherapist who's been very successful in what she's done. She has also established a school, and she now trains people like me to help people like you overcome whatever it might be that's troubling you. Because here's the thing: we get to the root cause. Talk therapy has so many benefits, but one of the things that it fails to do easily and quickly is get to the root cause of the problem. So we use the power of our minds, we use the power of the subconscious to get to that root cause, which is often, or usually most of the time, a limiting belief. And a limiting belief is something that does not serve us. A limiting belief is a negative belief. And those beliefs are usually formed very early in our childhood. So this is what Marissa's work has been. She's established this school, and she trains people like me, and I'm now an RTT practitioner, and I'm setting out to help women with a big decision of whether to stay or go in their marriage. I'm not advocating one or the other, but what I am doing is helping them build this sense of self-trust. One of the signs that we lack self-trust is that we default the decisions to others. We have a hard time making decisions, right? We don't trust ourselves to make a decision one way or the other. And we often default, which is what I used to do a lot. I used to default to my then husband. I used to default to him to make the decision because I didn't know. I didn't trust in myself. And once I started to trust in myself, there was some clashing because I had an idea and he had an idea, and we didn't know how to navigate that. Because for such a long time, the template had been set that I was deferring to him. We would talk about it, but I really felt deep inside myself that I was taking a back seat. I was not on an even playing field. I was not on par, and I did not trust myself to step up to the plate. So if this sounds like you, definitely reach out to me. Another tip, another hint that you might be struggling with self-trust is that you believe, as I have done so much over the years, is you believe the opinions that others have of you rather than your own opinions. I mean, this is so simple, but I think we all do it to one degree or another, but it's so simple. So if that sounds like you, then you might have this issue with self-trust. And I'm here to help women, not so much women over 50, anybody who is struggling with a decision, anyone who's struggling to believe in themselves. And so much of the time, what's happening is that we don't feel like we're enough. We do not value ourselves first of all, and personally, just for being who we are. right? We don't value ourselves. And we think that maybe there's something that we have to prove. But Brene Brown said, she's amazing. Go watch her videos. That you don't need to prove your value or your self-worth. You can't disprove it. You can't prove it. You don't need to prove it. As soon as we are born on the planet, we're here in the world for a reason. And we don't need to prove ourselves. We don't need to establish ourselves. We don't need to prove our value or prove our worth. It is inherent. So if that sounds like really new to you, then there's a little clue that you lack this sense of self-trust. So I have a story that I posted on Facebook today that I want to share here in on my YouTube channel, which is like, this is like a big video, you guys, right here. I am kicking off this new program that I have, which is helping women to come to a decision, a big decision about whether or not to stay or leave, by cultivating within themselves this deep sense of self-trust, because that's what we all need to make any kind of decision, but certainly those big decisions that really matter, that really change the course of our lives. Right. So here's a little story about when I was little. We moved from Minnesota to Massachusetts when I was 8. And we moved to a bigger house, and I had my own bedroom. I had a big bedroom, and I had 2 twin beds, one on each side of the room. And I had this old wallpaper. It was an old house. And my mom said that we could go out to Framingham to some of the wallpaper stores and pick out wallpaper. She hates to shop, and she sort of passed that whole thing on to me. And so she sort of had this, she was going to do it. It was a project, but it wasn't like it, it wasn't really fun. It wasn't really fun. It was like a project, and we had to choose the wallpaper. And so if you go with your mom to choose wallpaper, but you don't have a belief in yourself, you don't trust yourself, and you can't make decisions, then that was big. That was a big deal. So we go into the store, and I don't know when was the last time you were in a wallpaper store, but there are these big, big books, really big books. So the books themselves are sort of overwhelming for a 9-year-old, and we're flipping through the pages, and it was really, really tough for me to determine what I saw on the page and how it was going to look on the walls of my bedroom. But I did the best I could. I knew here's the thing, there was a little bit of this angst that I felt at such a young age, so early, that, my mom was doing something special for me. And I knew that this was a special thing. I knew this was a big deal. She was letting me pick out the wallpaper for my room. She wasn't making the decision, but that terrified me, that I had so much responsibility, and I didn't have a sense of what I liked. I didn't know what I liked. I didn't know what I wanted. I really didn't know who I was. There were a lot of things going on. But let's just focus on self-trust. I could not trust myself to make a decision. I finally made a decision. And I picked a sort of flowery wallpaper that was, didn't really make a bold statement. I was really afraid of like anything that was really bold or strong. Like stripes were way too much for me. So I tried to pick something, that was, I picked the easiest thing I could make a decision about, right? But that's like an early memory of this incredible lack of self-trust. And then it showed up in my post. I also wrote about this. It showed up a little bit later when I was in high school, still lacking this self-trust, a real deep, deep sense of self-trust in myself. And in high school, we often believe the opinions of others about us rather than ourselves. It's really tough in high school, but that certainly happened to me. But also, I really had a hard time choosing clothes. Like I knew that to choose this kind of style or this kind of style sort of sets you into a group, into a clique. And the high school that I went to was pretty cliquey. And so I realized that making a choice about the clothes that I wore, you're making a statement about who you are. And you're also, to a secondary degree, you're making a decision about what friend group you're going to belong to. And that was hugely problematic for me. So along with a lack of self-trust, I was incredibly anxious. But like I said before, I feel like they're all these pieces and parts are intertwined. So there's just another example of how I really, so I did, I was not very frilly. I was not girly girl. I did not wear pink. I knew that. I knew that much. I knew what I didn't want to wear. But as far as really establishing myself, I just really struggled with it all through high school. So if this sounds interesting to you, please contact me. I am offering a really exciting program, and it's all about building the belief within yourself that you are enough, that you have value, and that you can and will trust yourself to make this big decision. So by the end of the time that you work with me, you will be able to make the decision because you will have that depth of self-trust. You will have a deep, deep connection to yourself, and you will be able to make this shift by replacing the limiting beliefs that you have with positive beliefs. So just like a gardener pulls out the weed, we pull out the weeds, which are the limiting beliefs, and we plant the seeds for positive beliefs. And then after we do some work together, which is about 2 hours, then I give you a very powerful and beautiful recording that you listen to. And what you do is you water the seeds. We plant the seeds in the session, but then you water the seeds by you doing your part. Like we work together, but there is some teamwork that occurs. We work together, and you water the seeds by listening to the recording. And over time, your brain adopts this new belief. Your brain adopts the new thought. It takes 21 days at a minimum. But I would encourage you to listen to the recording as I do. I have tons of recordings that support me as I move through my life, and I need different things at different times, and they're just tools. We all can benefit from tools in our lives that help us navigate this thing called life. And we arrive on the planet not really knowing what we're here to do. Most of us, many of us, like me, lack of self-trust, not too sure what I was supposed to be doing here. But I'm very, very excited about this new program, and I would be so thrilled to work with you. So check me out on Facebook. I'm Lydia Hill, Hill. I have a small Facebook group called Eradicate Self-Doubt and Anxiety. And I'm going to put the link in below. So thank you so much for watching, and please subscribe. Have a lovely day.